Hi everyone and welcome to this new masterclass by OpenUp. My name is Romee and at OpenUp we're on a mission to make mental well-being accessible to all. As a part of this mission, we host a masterclass every month about a well-being related topic. Today we'll be talking about career change and how to take the leap. The masterclass will be hosted today by Basma Aziz, who is a career and well-being expert. Before we start, some practicalities. This is a live event, which means that you can interact with us. You can do this in the chat, so you can say hi to each other and also interact with Basma. If you have any specific questions that you want me to ask her, you can leave this in the little questions tab below. At the end of the session, there will be a Q&A and I will have the time to ask her all of your questions. There's also a polls tab where you can interact, so feel free to find each other. That's it for me. I'm going to introduce you to Basma and I hope you enjoy this masterclass. On to you.
Thank you, Romee. Hi, everyone, and welcome to the session of today. So my name is Basma Aziz. I am a career and well-being expert. And today, career, and specifically if you want to change your career and want to take the leap. It could be something very scary. I have been there. I've done it, and it brings a lot of emotions. But there is a way, from the start point when you think about changing your career until the point where you do it. So, the goal of this session today, just so that we are all on the same page, is to build the confidence and actionable steps to help make this transition smooth. Because, from the point where you think about changing your career, it's just this little idea in your head. Until you actually manifest it and make it happen, the road is quite rocky. But there are a lot of things that we can do so that we can make it easier. So let's start with a question so that we can know, we are all together here and we want to know where our head is at. So do you feel fear or excitement when you think about changing your career? And here, I want you to really sit with yourself and see really your emotions. Are you excited about the idea? Or do you feel fear? Are you scared? And it's okay. Both of the emotions are valid. Yes, I think the emotion of having fear towards this is completely valid. For myself, just so that you can understand how I changed my career. So I used to work in marketing. I used to work in content production and marketing strategy and product development, and I loved it. That's what I studied. I have a master's in it, and I really saw my career go in there, in creative direction, in being maybe a CMO. But there was a point where it wasn't going as well as I thought, and I had a burnout, and then it really pushed me to reconsider all of my life choices. So I took the time to really reflect, and from starting from wanting to share my story about burnout, I discovered well-being and the whole space of well-being and how to feel better, how to prevent burnout. And then slowly I switched from working in marketing into working in well-being. It wasn't smooth. It wasn't something that I predicted when I was working in marketing, but it just happened. So sometimes, changing career doesn't happen because we chose to, but it's something that we were put into. And I want you to also think that the difference between fear and excitement is one breath away, because they come from the same place, When you feel it, you have this anxiety, you're like, do I want to do this? Do I not want to do this? But it's also the same place that you're like, yay, I want to do this and I'm very excited about it. So always think that this fear that you have, take a deep breath and slowly try to change it into excitement slowly. And that's how I'm going to show you how we can do that. And you're not alone in this journey of wanting to change your career. 62% of European employees believe a career change is necessary to achieve happiness and fulfillment. Sometimes the reason that we want to change our career is because we can't find meaning in our current one anymore. And we want to go somewhere that is more exciting, somewhere that is more fulfilling. And we notice it a lot with I'm a millennial, and I hope, I'm sure that there are millennials and Gen Z together with us today. We were brought up with the idea of finding our passion and working towards making that passion our livelihood. So we look for places where we can find fulfillment. 40% of workers are likely to switch occupations by 2025, driven by automation, the digital transformation, and the desire, again, for more meaningful work. So we also are in a certain era now of things changing all the time. So either you're going to go with it, or you might become obsolete, or your job might disappear any day. I mean, we clearly know how AI is changing so many things and it is disrupting the workplace. So 40% are already likely to switch occupation by 2025. And 65% of workers who changed careers reported higher job satisfaction and improved mental health. And I am one of them. When I changed from working in marketing, and again, I still love it. It's not that I am like, no, I never want to work there. It brought me a lot of skills and a lot of experiences. But working in this space of well-being and helping companies and people feel better and do better performance and find a protocol for themselves to take care of their mental health brings me a lot of joy. So I do understand that maybe this is also a driver for you, is that you want to find a meaningful work. You want to improve your mental health. And you're not alone in this journey. So let's again try to put ourselves in the same context. Did you already take a step into the direction of changing your career, or not yet? And I want you to answer yes or no in the chat. So it could be if you already took a class, if you already took shadowed someone, if you already did the certification. Could be anything. We see a lot of yes. Yeah, we see there's also no. Someone talks to the recruiter. Yes. Yeah, so it's very nice. This is actually very good because this session is for people who, you're quite close to doing this decision, but it doesn't mean that if you are not ready for it, this session is not for you. It's just that if you already did a step towards this is going to be very valuable for you. So let's start with the first tip. So you decided, you know where you want to go or an idea of where you want to go. The first tip is that you need to have self-belief and clarity. And how does that look like for us? Most important thing is that you need to be your biggest cheerleader. There is nobody that is going to be cheering for you the way you're going to cheer for yourself. You need to have absolute faith that you're going to make it. And this comes from working on yourself and really knowing that this is good for me. And it comes also from pivoting from a place of joy. Sometimes we want to change careers just because we heard that Carla did it. And she went from marketing to finance, and now she's earning a lot of money. And that's why I should do that too. But that comes from a place that is not going to help you in the long run in your choice. It is something that is maybe going to give you a boost, that, I want more money. But maybe in the long run, you're going to discover that that area is not something you want to do. So it's very important that you sit with yourself, sit with the idea, and sit with the area that you want to move into. So for example, if you already took a step into it, how does it make you feel? Fear is normal. Again, fear is very normal. It's something that is not going to go away. You're going to live with it. It's literally just you're going to choose courage over fear when you're going to do the leap. So sit with yourself, sit with the idea. Am I feeling that this is bringing me joy? When I tried this, when I did the certification, when I shadowed someone, when I did the internship, did it bring me joy? And test the job and see if it's going to make you feel energized. Because, again, there is a big difference between the theory of a job and then when you do the job. One of the examples that I love to give in this area is surfing. The idea of surfing is amazing. You're there, it's the beach, it's the waves, it's sunny. You are in Portugal every now and then you're riding the waves, your hair is curled, you have this tan. It sounds wonderful. And also you're with your friends, you go for drinks afterwards. It's a very chill lifestyle. But when you come to the act of surfing, it is not for everyone. When you try it and you are in the water and the waves are hitting you and then the sand is in between everywhere and all of your swimsuit and your wetsuit and you can't stand up, not the first, not the second, not the third time on the board, you're going to be frustrated. And you need to know that you actually really like it for you to do the learning curve of surfing. So think about it like that. When you go and try the job, when you go and try like this certification and everything, are you energized with the idea and you feel that is something that's going to last? And one of the most important part about self-belief and clarity is also reframing failure and reframing success. So what does that mean? Changing to something that we are not comfortable with yet, where we're still beginners, where we're still going to try and see if we're going to like it, you're likely to fail. But also failure means that you tried. And it's much better to live with the idea that you have tried and failed than live with the idea that I'm so scared, I'm not going to do this. So reframe the idea of failure. Failure meant that you're trying. Failure means that you're living. Failure means that you believe in yourself and you want to try this. It doesn't matter what people are going to think about you. It doesn't matter as much as what you think about yourself when you go to sleep at night. And next to fear of failure, there's also fear of success. Actually, this is also common when you change your career. You might be so good at it that you're going to be promoted so fast and you're going to have imposter syndrome. And you're going to be like, how am I going to handle all of this team and all of these tasks? But again, self-belief. You can do it. You have skills. You have experience in your current career that is going to help you move to a new one. And this is a good segue to the next tip. Transferable skills. At the moment, maybe you have 2 years experience, 5 years experience, 10, 15, 20 years of experience in a certain field. It doesn't mean that when you go to a new one, you're going to completely start over and you're going to completely start from scratch. You do have certain skills that you learned, and those ones can be transferred to the new job. And we can split these skills into hard skills and soft skills. So for example, keeping the example from Carla that is changing from marketing to finance, she used to work in digital marketing. And in there, she does reporting, she does data analytics, she is good with numbers, with storytelling of graphs, and she's thinking to move to finance because she wants to work in P&L, for example. So it's good to sit and do, a list of all of the skills that you have at the current job and how can you transfer them into the new job, the hard skills. Then you have the soft skills. There's the personal connections. How do you hold yourself in meetings? How you do presentations? How can you handle conflict? And again, this is super valuable. It's something that is going to go with you throughout whatever career you're going to do. So even if you're now at the beginning of your career and you are not thinking yet about changing, work on these soft skills because they're your best bet when you change direction. And then you need to have a learner mindset. As I said, you're going to start in a new place. It's going to bring a lot of fear. You don't know what you're doing, maybe imposter syndrome. But as long as you have a learner mindset that you want to learn, you want to get better, it's the surfing example. If you have it in you that you like surfing so much that you're going to go into the waves, you're going to get hit, you're going to go again the next day until you can stand on that board and surf and really see yourself that you're taking big waves, that is having the learner mindset. It's failing and going again and trying and going again. And having a super strong do-it attitude without shame. Let's say, for me, when I changed from marketing to well-being and HR, one of the things that I felt was uncomfortable is that I don't understand certain structures in HR. It's a whole field on its own. But I really needed to work on my shame and everything that triggers me. Triggers me on a personal level, like, they're going to think that I'm not good enough. They're going to think that I just changed in this space and I'm not worth it. So it's important to deal with these triggers, and this ties with self-awareness. You have to understand what are your triggers so that when you go to a space that is uncomfortable, that is new, you know your triggers and you already have mechanisms to work with it. So have a do-it attitude. It's okay to try. It's okay to ask questions. It's okay to start, as an intern level, let's say, and grow slowly. That's also the nice part of it, is that you're trying something new. So now we know a little bit that you need to have, self-belief. You need to have clarity about what you want to do. And you also need to understand your skills and go towards this space with no shame or less shame. We are going to be ashamed of changing things and what are people going to think about us. But if we have the right protocols and we have the right tools and the right self-awareness and we work on our mental health, this is going to be a smooth transition. So let's reflect a little bit. I want you to, if you're home, to close your eyes and visualize how your day in this new career path is going to look like. So imagine that you wake up in the morning, you have this job that you are dreaming about, this new career that you are working towards, and you're getting ready, depending on what you're wearing, what is this new field that you're going to work in. You're getting out of the house. I don't know if you're going to an office or a studio. Are you feeling, what are you exactly feeling when you're thinking about it? What is this emotion that is inside? Is it excitement? Is it curiosity? Is it energy? Is it, whatever comes to your mind. And if you've done that and opened your eyes, it would be lovely to have your, what do you feel in the chat? Yeah, excitement, energized, adding value, and that ties with like meaningful work and fulfillment. You feel settled, and I think this is a very good thing. Like when you feel that there is a sense of calm and that a sense of I am aligned with what I want to do, is something that is positive, excited and curious, feeling fulfilled. And I want you to really hold on to this emotion because, again, this is going to help you a lot in your self-belief and in your clarity journey. This is something that is going to change your life. It's going to be painful. I'm not going to say that it's not going to be painful, but it is going to be something very helpful in the long run. So moving on to the tip number 3 is drafting the how. So now you believe in yourself, you are motivated to change, you know that this is going to bring you energy, fulfillment, and you also understand that it is going to need work. I have certain skills that I can transfer. I'm not starting completely from scratch. I'm going to do some work on myself and my self-awareness to prepare for all the triggers that might happen, for all the new space that I'm going to join. I'm going to have a new boss. I'm going to have a new team. It's going to be a new company, for example. And again, I just want to also put in between brackets that changing careers doesn't mean that you change completely from a company to another or sector to another, or you're employed in a 9-to-5 and then you move to an entrepreneurship. It could be anything. It could be also just moving teams. So now, how are you going to do this? We need to draft the how. You need to take a paper. I'm a big fan of paper and pen and just vomiting all of my ideas on a piece of paper. Understand the timeline of the change. So if you're moving from something completely different to something to something completely different, how many months or years do you need until you can reach this new job? And also understand if it's however you're going to think, if it's going to take 6 months, double that. It's going to take 1 year. Sometimes it actually happens faster. When I decided to do the change from marketing, so I started a podcast where I was talking about my mental health and my journey with burnout. And then I was thinking, in 3 years, I'm going to be in this space of well-being. I'm going to be a facilitator, a consultant. It happened in 1.5 years. So having the flexibility and understanding, it's better to plan, for the change to happen within 3 years and then it happens faster than the opposite. So understand how long it's going to take. Understand who is in your network that can help you do this leap. If you went to university, you have your university friends. I mean, I don't know if you're close to them or not, but you met these people and you have them in your network. There are people that work with you. You can go to events. Try to get a coffee with people that are doing the job that you want to do. Understand what is their day-to-day. Understand how they can support you, at least in giving you a better idea of the job. And just have them in your network, you don't need to already ask them for the job. Just put it out there. Put the idea, but also put yourself by being visible and working on your visibility and exposure. As someone who, I'm an introvert extrovert, so also in a company setting or in networking events, I'm not the go-to, hey, let's talk. It takes me a lot of energy. And I know this about myself, and I had to, accept that, okay, this is how I work. I just need to ensure that whenever I go to networking events or I try to be visible and do events and so on, I plan a downtime for me to recover because I need the 1-2 days where I don't talk to anyone so that I can replenish my energy. So if you're also like that and you're a bit scared of this visibility, exposure, working with new people, you can find a way, either with a coach or with a therapist, to talk about this, and then put your own recovery protocol, if I can say it like that. How can you recover if you're not comfortable with being in new spaces and talking to new people? But you need to work on your visibility and exposure so that you can be seen and people would know that you want to do this change. And then understand your financial consequences. This is a big one. I also recently went from working at a company to working for myself. So I needed to sit with myself and understand what are my expenses and how can I do this change without ruining myself in a way. So sometimes when you change careers, it is going to be expensive. And maybe you have a partner, maybe not. Maybe a family can support you or not. So you have to understand how can you support yourself financially. And I like to, here I have a document that has helped me. It's called the Minimum Viable Lifestyle, where I put, what is my rent, mortgage, what are my charges, what are the things I need to keep. Basically, what are the expenses that I have to keep a stable mental health? This is super important because if you have your health, you can run marathons. But if you're not okay mentally, you might want to change career and then you're already going to feel tired and not in the right space. So understand what are your expenses, understand what makes you happy, the minimum, seeing friends, travel, shopping, Also here, I would always recommend when you're thinking about the financial consequences to do, buy your pantry stuff before you change jobs in case this is not going to work. Buy your skincare, buy your makeup. Like when you still have your current job and your income, make sure that you're stocked up so that when you change careers, when you change jobs, if something dips, you already have something set. And we have that as a document in the handouts that you can download later. So here, it's very practical, very practical. You sit with yourself, piece of paper, or your laptop, your iPad, whatever you use, and think, what is the most important thing for me here to do so that I can reach my goal? And of course, when we would like to do this change, it is going to be challenging. So we have to build our resilience. I can't talk about this enough. We really have to build our resilience in all levels. And before building our emotional resilience, I like to talk about physical endurance. I'm someone who didn't like to work out, I'm going to be honest. But I also had to find places where I can move my body, because when you have strong muscles and you have a strong body, you're going to have a strong mindset and strong mental health. So try to find what is the activity, the physical activity that is going to help you to be strong and be mental, like it's going to lead you to be mentally strong. If you go to the gym, if you lift, if you dance, if whatever sport you do, it is going to help you build your emotional resilience by building your physical endurance. Because when you're stressed, most of the time your body is going to really what is the word I'm looking for? You're going to get stressed and it's going to be tight, and you need to release the stress. So when you work on your physical endurance, your body is going to understand that when your shoulders are tight, when your muscles are tight, it needs to release it. So build that mechanism with yourself and with your body so that it helps your mind. Work on your emotional resilience. Again, you're going to get rejected. You're going to fail. Things that are not going to go your way, and you can't give up with the first or the second or the third no. You need to be able to, it's okay to cry when it's going to happen. That's totally okay. It's okay also to just have a full-on go to the gym and go boxing and release it. But as long as you get up there again. There is if you believe in yourself, there is no scenario where you give up yet. Of course, you can pivot. We can change things. But you have to be very clear that this is the thing that I want to do, and I am here to do it, and I'm here to win. And of course, this is going to bring a lot of stress in your life. It is going to make you feel miserable sometimes. It's going to make you feel doubt your life choices. Maybe I should have stayed in the other career. And that's why you need to have a stress management protocol. What does that mean? So one of the reasons stress is one of the reasons we say, oh, you shouldn't be stressed, is because we don't release it. This is the biggest problem with stress, is that we keep taking it on. It's emails that are that don't finish. It's meetings that don't finish, and it's a lot of scenarios where you don't release that stress. So start by understanding and putting, again, in a piece of paper or on your laptop, how are you going to release your stress? So you need to release the stress, reset your body. Do you go to spa? Do you go to a sauna? Do you go on a walk? But you need to understand it for yourself. I built my own, and it's also something that you can find in the handouts to give you an idea of how can you build your own stress management protocol. As a self-employed person now, the stress that I have is very different than when I was in a 9 to 5. 9 to 5 is meetings, it's my stakeholders, it's deadlines, it's deliverables. Now in the self-employment is how am I going to get clients, content creation, how am I going to manage my financial decisions. So stress changes, but the way I handle it is still the same. I know what are my cues, I know what are my stressors, and I know how to release it, and I know how to reset it. And that's why I'm able to always rebound. And that's the bounce back ability and grit. Again, you have to believe so much in yourself that you're not going to give up. So you need to remember every time in your life that something bad happened and you were able to recover from it. If you just sit with yourself for 5 minutes and think, situation that has happened, maybe you couldn't find rent in a new city, but then a little bit later you were able to do it and find something that is great. Or you were going to choose a certain degree at university and you were rejected, but then the 4th university accepted you and that was the best thing that happened, but you kept applying. So you need to remind your brain of all of the situations that you were up to the challenge. Because our brain wants to protect us. It's going to give you the biggest anxiety to tell you, no, this is a bad idea. But you need to calibrate all of that by saying, no, but these situations happened and I was able to recover. I bounced back. I had the ability to, fall and then do it again. So work a lot on your mindset to know that things might go wrong and I'm going to bounce back and I'm good for it. And to summarize our session today, so you need to have unshakable belief that you can do it. Guys, you need to be your biggest cheerleader. I can do it. I am going to be able to change my career, and whatever challenge is going to come, I'm going to be able to face it and do it because I'm here to win. You need to map your transferable skills so that you can understand, in a tangible level, what are your current skills that are going to help you in your new career path, both hard and soft skills. Draft a realistic timeline and network. Network with people, understand how are they working in this space, and define what is your minimum viable lifestyle. What is the minimum that you can have to have mental stability, so you can be strong and resilient, and then build this emotional and physical resilience. It's body and mind. You can't just work on your emotional resilience without working on your physical endurance. I will say it again, as someone who doesn't like working out and cardio and all of it, I had to find the space where I can build this physical endurance at home, dancing, in martial arts. It is different for different people. And then build your foolproof stress management protocol. It is crucial that you know yourself, you work on your self-awareness, and then you can build your own protocol. So life is about change. It's either you're going to choose to change or change is going to choose you. Sometimes it's painful, sometimes it's beautiful, but most of the time it's both. So it is good to be realistic about this change. It is going to be painful. It's going to be disgusting. Maybe you're going to be like, why did I do all of this? But it is going to be beautiful when it's on the times when you're going to be like, I did it. I really did it. And this feels great. And I feel fulfilled. And this is meaningful for me. I like to also remember this idea about fear. Fear is like a sea that is 1 kilometer long, but like 1 centimeter deep. You think it's like, oh my God, I can't do it, I can't swim. But then it's actually 1 centimeter, so you can walk it. And looking forward to your questions after that, because I think we touched upon a lot of ideas, and I hope you guys are going to take a lot of them with you home.
Yeah, thank you so much, Basma, for all of these insights. It's really interesting to see how many things also go into a career change. On the one hand, really looking into, okay, what is it that I want to be doing? And is it just something that I made up? Or is it something that I actually already know that I'm going to like? Then also maintaining your stress levels while you're doing it. But I also like the practical tips more in terms of like, okay, how do you actually plan it? And the fact that you also, it was something I realized because of you, like you don't start from scratch. Like even if it's completely different what you're doing now, there's probably some things that, that you can transfer, and even soft skills that you might have done, like founding your other job that you can take. We got a lot of questions, so without further ado, we'll dive into them now. We're going to start off with the first one, which is from Jessica Zielinski. And her question is, I have the feeling I would like to completely change my job area to something new, but I don't know what would suit me best. Do you have any tips on where to take personal job tests, for instance, tests that show you all suitable areas?
Great question. We actually have, maybe I didn't mention it during the session. There is a tool in the Handouts that you can download where it's called Career Choice. So it has different areas for you to give a grade to. I think it's out of 20 or out of 10. And you put the current job that you have, the new job that you want to have, and all of them. It's going to go like this, and you have a score at the end. And then that score is going to tell you which one is better for you. And if it's something that actually, it's not only an idea or, oh, I want to be here, but actually something that's going to impact your life to the better.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, that's great for everyone at home as well. If you want to download this handout, you can do that by clicking on apps and then clicking on handouts. And there you will find a lot of different ones. I see that Mattia also asked, could you share resources on how to build our own stress management protocol? And that is also in a handout of yours,
correct.
right?
Correct, yes, correct. It's on, it's in the same place where it's in the apps. And you can also find a lot of things that I create on my LinkedIn. So you can also add me on LinkedIn, and then you'll see everything that I post there and all of the tools that can help you and inspire you to build your own.
Great. Then we'll move on to the next question, which is from Edward. And he says, how can we deal with the fear of success and imposter syndrome? Is the fear of success related to imposterization?
Good question. I think fear of success is something that we don't realize. Honestly, I didn't even know personally that I had it, because I just get scared of what if this goes so big that I can't handle it. But I would tie it back to the bounce back ability. Being afraid of success is being afraid of something that you can't handle. And to help you with that, you can think of all the times that you handled something that was big. It could be something small, like you invited 5 friends and then 20 people showed up and you could handle that. You have to feed your brain all of the scenarios where when something was supposed to go little and then it went bigger and you were able to handle it. And it is tied to imposter syndrome, because sometimes we think we're not good enough and where people are going to discover that we are fraud. And it's very crucial to work on that imposter syndrome when we want to change career. And that's how the transferable skills are going to help you, because you're going to see, pen on paper that all of these things, I'm good at them. And of course, when I'm going to go to this new place, I'm going to take these things and I'm not going to be an imposter, because I do know how to do all of these things. Mm-hmm. So it's very important to write things down, to visualize, so that your brain gets the memo. Because the brain just wants to protect you and say, you're a fraud, you're going to fail at this, you're going to be miserable. But there's also so much data that you need to feed it back and say, hey, no, it actually worked out and we worked it out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, so what I'm also hearing is like basically in both of these things, whether it's fear of success or fear of being an imposter, there's also this feeling of like overwhelm that you're like, oh, I feel like I can't handle it or I'm not doing it in the right way. So that's actually what the thing is that we are afraid of. But if you have those transferable skills as well, or you have some things to also hold on to, you're like, okay, already know that this helps me or that I'm good at that.
Correct.
That can really
and I think there's also a part of us that, we're also very different. There are people who are neurotypical, there are people who are neurodivergent. And sometimes when we hear about a lot of stories, it is of stories of maybe neurotypical people, and we feel that we're less than because we don't have the ability to focus that much, or we have scattered brain, and this is again why it's important to sit down with ourselves and put down all the things we're good at. It's a good reminder to say, maybe I do it differently, but I'm very good at what I do. Mm-hmm. So visualize, feed your brain, and then go for it.
Yeah, thank you. Then we're going to go to the next question. And and it's from Raouldeep Atri. I'm sorry if I don't pronounce it correctly. The question is, how do you balance the obligations, risk, and reward when changing a career? Some change take a lot of time before they're fruitful, and still there is a risk it might not work out. So how do you balance all of these things?
Honestly, it is with the stress management protocol, is knowing yourself and how can you release the stress so that there is no built up. So you reach an overwhelm level where you can't handle it anymore and it's going to show on your body symptoms. Because of course you have obligations, you have things to your bills to pay and people to tend to, for example. But when it's a little bit of a gamble and you need to be comfortable with choosing discomfort. This is crucial in changing career. It is going to be uncomfortable. And if you're someone who loves stability and loves things not to change, it might be difficult to do this step and you might need a little bit much more components before you do the leap. Mm-hmm. So understand if you are a type of person who likes a little bit of risk and it's something that excites you. This is something that I discovered about myself when I did this and when I was changing, is that I felt always that once I spent this amount of time doing something, I become uninterested and I need something. It is because I like that risk and I like that new feeling and beginning. So that plays on my favor and I'm like, okay, I know I'm a risk taker in that sense, but I also love stability. So it's knowing that when I have this instability, I am going to work on myself, do my meditation, do my cold shower in the morning, do my sauna, journal, so I can release the stress and then be able to show up the next day more positive. So it's really understanding what type of person you are. And again, I will say it, sit with yourself and really understand either if you can do it on your own. You can also use AI for this, ChatGPT or DeepSeek to help you discover yourself. Go to a therapist, go to a coach, so you can really know what type of person you are.
Yeah, interesting. And it's really about finding that balance where, because a lot of people also said when you asked about fear or excitement, like both, it's both at the same time. So how can you do it in a way that the fear is still present, but it's manageable and it doesn't feel like it wants you to shut yourself up and not proceed with it anymore.
Yeah,
and finding that balance.
Yeah, and it's I think fear is not going to go anywhere. This is it. This is what I have realized in life, is that fear is not going to go anywhere. But also hearing people say, "Oh, it's so brave that you did this," really helps, actually. Mm-hmm. So also having a support system that is going to cheer you on. Of course, you need to have that self-belief, but also your support system is super important.
Yeah.
People that are going to tell you that, yes, you're going to fail today, you're going to cry, you're going to hurt yourself, but we're going to put a Band-Aid on it, and tomorrow you're going to have breakfast, and you're going to drink your lemon water, feel a little bit better, and face it again. Mm-hmm. And this is why it's important to have grit. You have to want it badly enough that it's okay to have those scratches. It's okay to get those waves in your head and suffer from the salty water, and because it is going to be worth it, and you are there to win. Mm-hmm. And again, of course, you can pivot and everything, but you need to have that, this is what I want to do, and I'm okay taking those punches.
Yeah.
Just like our favorite movies or our favorite anime, or like you really see that those heroes go through so many things before it actually works out. But it also feels so fulfilling that you're doing that for yourself and you have the bravery to do it.
Yeah, really well said. We're now going to move on to a bit of a more practical question. It's from Niall Marshall, and he says, my current position and experience is very esoteric. I only get job offers and interest for jobs in this specific area. How can I pivot but also convince employers that I'm capable of doing something else without having to re-educate? So basically more practical in, how do we convince other people to hire us basically for something we haven't done before?
Yeah, I hear you. I think it is definitely difficult. There is a lot of alignment, stars align sometimes when the pivot happens easy. But I believe in having side projects. I think this is how I changed my career, is that I had my podcast and I had my my social media where I was talking burnout and well-being and so on. And I could show that and be, put a little bit more effort in the additional documents when I applied to new jobs, where I say this is what I'm capable to do and this is what I do now, but I can definitely transfer these skills to this new job. So you have to do an extra, do a side project, do things for free, join like NGOs or something where you're going to have a certain experience, but you are going to have to put effort that is unpaid, so that you can show it in your CV that this is something that I'm capable to do. And of course, there are different ways when you're applying for jobs that you have to be innovative and smart on how to reach the manager or how to reach some decision maker, to show them that, yes, I might have a lot of sales experience, but I do want to change to, I want to say HR, for example, and this is how I can do it.
Yeah.
And honestly, it is a matter of also the other people on the other side believing that this is the right thing. When I changed into well-being, I had the CHRO of that company tell me, you don't have the experience in HR, but for me, I would be willing to give you this opportunity because somebody did it for me in the past.
Oh, that's really nice.
Yeah.
As well. That someone said that. Yeah.
And because he also used to work in operations and then he moved to working in HR, and he can see that there are transferable skills and that it's about people's potential, not people's skills.
Yeah.
So it's also about the click of when you get the interviews and when you click with the hiring manager. And that was a good thing because then I knew I was in the right environment. I knew that this person knew what I lacked, but also had full-on trust that I can do it.
Yeah.
So also see it that way. If you get rejected, it probably was not the right space anyways, and you were going to be judged, and it might have been hard. So see it this way. Put a little bit more effort into side projects. Be innovative in your applications. It's going to take time.
Yeah, and it's also nice what you said, like maybe you don't have experience in something yet, but you can also offer your help for free to someone who's already doing this. When I changed my career direction, I actually did this, that I just offered my help to someone who was doing something like that, and then I at least had some experience on my CV, even though it was unpaid.
Yeah.
But like you said, if you have your minimum viable lifestyle, you know that you can do that and actually create space for yourself also to try these things while it may not pay off like financially yet. Then you can build that experience and confidence as well.
Exactly.
I really like that. Yeah. Then we are going to move into the next question, which is from Iqbal Faiza. How do you overcome the idea of sunk cost when wanting to change careers? We've spent a lot of money and it feels like moving to a different area would come with the same cost, which would be a major setback for us.
Well, I mean, I like to see life as this big palette of experiences. And when you decide to move to something else, whatever cost you spent for something, in the past, you have taken something out of it already. So if you move to something new and you're thinking, okay, I already spent so much of my time, of my money on of myself in this space, it doesn't mean that it's going to go to waste. Again, it is something that you take with you, and this is why it's crucial to know if you're excited about this or you're doing it just because this is what I'm supposed to do so that I still can have a job. So. Also, when you're pushed to do something because AI is going to take your job, for example, you have to choose, something positive for yourself. This is also a time where you can choose something that works for you instead of being pushed into an area that you're not comfortable with. So it's important to reframe this idea that we're not going to lose. We are going to win something in the long run, and it's mental health, it's joy, it's fulfillment, and it's okay.
Yeah, and you're going to be 5 years older anyway, so then where do you want to be in 5 years? In the same place? Or things have actually progressed?
Exactly that. It's like when people ask I should have started this 5 years ago. You're like, but the best time besides 5 years ago is now. So
yeah, exactly.
Time's going to pass, so it's better to do it now.
Yeah. Basma, thank you so much for this very insightful session. I really liked it, and I hope everyone else also got something away from it. Again, there is handouts attached to this session, so you can find the minimum viable lifestyle, but also stuff about the career choice. You can all find it in the handout. Then I would also like to invite you to our masterclass next month. It's about resilience and the growth mindset. So also for a career change, for instance, you want to improve this growth mindset, that we would love to see you there. Thanks everyone for your attention. Thanks Basma for this great session. And hope you have a great rest of your day.